Welcome to Secret 2, Hiring Risk and Fraud, and the topics that you would be covering in this Secret 2 chapter are fake resume and case study, fake experience letter and case study, identity fraud and case study, document manipulation and case study, which means the topics that you can see are all readily available if you search the internet. So what we've done is we've linked these topics to real life case studies that happened in the past so that it's easily understandable, so that you can understand all the topics and relate it to real life experiences. For example, how employees fake their resumes when they are appearing for an interview. What kind of false information they give to their resume to get the job. How they fake their experience letter and give the names of the companies which never existed. So, let us move on to greater details. Number 1, fake resumes. Amit explained fake resume is one of the most common problems in hiring. Many candidates write wrong or false information in their CVs when they're applying for a job. Some people show wrong job role, completely false work experience, skills that they do not have, and the achievements section also has fake information. They try to look more dignified and more qualified with these fake information. For example, a person may write that he worked for 5 years in a company, but in reality, he only worked there for a year. Some candidates also copy resumes from the internet or other people, which is plagiarism. They change names and details to make it look believable and real. In the interviews, they speak confidently because they've seen YouTube videos on interviewing skills and they apply that knowledge in their real interviews. But after joining the job, the problems start to surface. Work quality becomes very, very poor. Projects get delayed and they do not meet the deadline. Team faces a lot of difficulty and problems. This creates loss for the company. What are the losses that the company faces? Time loss is a very big factor because they have to meet deadlines. Money loss, of course, financial instability, and client dissatisfaction completely. Without verification, it is very, very difficult to identify fake CVs. Now, let us now look into different real-life case studies as was published in the newspaper. And you can easily Google or search them to know better information about the case studies, linking them to the Secret 2 topics. This case is based on a real and a true incident reported in India. Location India, of a startup company, and the date was February 2026. A startup company was hiring a new employee. The candidate looked confident and very qualified. The resume showed good skills, strong experience, and a higher salary in the previous job. During the process of interview, everything looked picture perfect, like in an ideal world. The company trusted the candidate and did not do the background verification that they were supposed to do. The candidate joined the company. In the beginning, for the first few months, everything seemed perfectly normal. But after a few weeks, problems started to arise. The employee was not able to complete basic tasks because he was not qualified to do the job in the first place, because all the information that he had provided was wrong. The company decided to verify. The candidate's background and do an investigation. Then, and only then, the truth came out. The resume was fake. Salary details were completely wrong. Experience was false, and the references that he provided in the resume were fake too. What happened? What was the impact on the company due to this particular thing? 1.35 lakh salary loss, rupees 40,000 training cost was at a complete loss, and 25,000 rupees replacement hiring cost the company had to again endure. The total loss, 2 lakhs and 4 months of precious time, effort, dedication wasted. All this happened because of one single very important mistake. No background verification was conducted. After this incident, the company changed its hiring methodology and process and started BGV, background verification, for every single candidate to avoid the loss that they had already suffered. The source, of course, you can look it up in the internet, is the Economic Times, February 2026. Now, number 2, fake experience letter. Neil Kapoor, I hope you remember the case study which we had discussed previously regarding Arjun Mehta's company and how Ryan, the son, got information and guidance from Neil Kapoor to build up his father's company in a better way. So, we're talking about the same Neil Kapoor. So, Neil explained fake experience letters are a very common problem in the hiring process in major companies. Some candidates create fake documents to show that they really worked in a previous organization. They may prepare fake offer letters, fake experience letters, fake relieving letters, and completely fake pay slips. These documents look very real, so companies, at a first glance, they believe them, and the candidate is hired. In interviews, candidates speak very, very diligently and confidently and share false information about their previous job. Because of this, companies believe them, they trust them, and offer the job to that candidate. But after joining, the problems start showing one by one. The candidate is not able to do the work properly because he's not qualified enough to do the job. They do not have real experience. This creates major issues like poor work quality, a delay in the project, and team confusion. After some time, the company checks and investigates the details and starts to validate the information, and that is when the truth comes out. The experience was completely false. This creates loss for the company, client dissatisfaction, monetary loss, and time loss. Without background verification, it is very difficult to identify fake experience letters that employees usually present at the time of hiring. Experience can be shown on paper, but only verification tells you the complete truth. Let's look at another case study, which was in Bangalore, India. This is based on a real hiring fraud incident reported in India, and the industry was IT and corporate hiring. Now, what happened over there? A major hiring fraud was uncovered in Bangalore, India's IT hub and center. A group of people was running a fake HR consultancy firm. They targeted job seekers with low experience and they promised high salary jobs. In return, they provided fake experience letters, fake company documents, and fake salary proofs. Candidates used these false documents to get jobs in other companies. At first, everything looked real, believable, and normal. But after some time, companies noticed problems, poor performance by the employee because he's not qualified to do the job. lack of real skills, and work quality issues. Of course, the quality of the work will suffer if the employee does not have the real skills and the knowledge required in the market scenario. Now, what they did was, companies started the verification process. Then the truth came out. A large number of employees had used fake experience certificates. Police investigations were carried out and they revealed shocking but true information. A network creating false documents, charges of 15 to 25,000 per certificate, placement of candidates in multiple companies. More than 200 professionals were affected by this scam. The impact of the companies hired wrong candidates, projects got delayed, they did not meet the deadlines, and client trust and integrity was affected. You can also read it up in the internet, like I said. The source of this case study is India Today, May 2015, and the Times of India, October 2014, relating to the fake certificate which was busted. So, fake experience may get a job, but it can never give real skills. Verification protects companies from the hidden fraud which employees do not reveal when they sit for interviews. Number 3, let's talk about what identity fraud is, which is also a very serious risk that companies are now facing when they interview employees for a particular position. Neil explained identity fraud is one of the most dangerous risks in hiring. It means a person gives wrong identity details about himself to the company to get a job. Sometimes candidates use fake Aadhaar, wrong address, and false documents for that matter. In some cases, the person who gives the interview is not the same person who joins the company. At first, everything looks normal, and then as time goes by, problems start to resurface in the company. The company does not know the real identity of the person. This creates very, very serious damages and risks to the company. Data is misused. Security threats, of course, because the identity of the person has been compromised already. And fraudulent activities which are completely ruining the reputation of the company. Sometimes the person suddenly quits the job and the phone is switched off and he cannot be traced at all and he remains untraceable. This creates loss for the company, money loss, legal risk, and time loss, of course. Without background verification, identity fraud is very, very hard to detect. If identity of a person is fake and false, everything is fake and everything goes down below. Always verify identity before giving access to the employee to join your organization. Now, let's talk about another case study. And the source of this case study is the Times of India, October 2025, which is the Ahmedabad identity fraud case. What exactly happened? This case is based on a real identity fraud incident. A company executive working in a solar project received a message on WhatsApp. The message looked exactly and very official. It showed the company director's name and logo. The sender said, "This is my new number. My old number is not functional anymore." The executive trusted and believed in the message. The fraudster slowly started asking questions about the company funds. Then he gave an urgent instruction to transfer the money to another bank account. The executive followed the instructions because the executive trusted and believed in the sender's message. What happened was the company discovered something very, very shocking. The message was fake and false again. The fraudster had impersonated as the company director, which means the fraudster took on the false role of being the company director, which was not the case. Because of this identity fraud, 90 lakhs was transferred into the false bank account. Company suffered huge financial loss and internal trust was affected. The case was reported to cybercrime police. So even a trusted ID card can be fake. So you have to be extremely careful and verify before taking any firm action.